Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly timeframes. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. Go to our website, sign up for a free membership for more videos like this. All right, let's get right into the daily SPY, and again, right back into this trend line. Just been holding on, with light volume, 51 million on the day. Nothing after hours going on, so it's just floating above the MAs. Nothing wrong with the SPY. If you're long, you need to get above the 230, and then definitely go for this 233 area, 235 area. I think up in here, we'll see how it reacts if it does get up into this trend line. If we just push through and go higher, or if it stops and then chops around again at possibly higher prices. So if you're bullish, you need to get above here and there. If you're bearish, you need to fill this gap back in here, hit the 20 MA, and you need to get below this trend line. If you're below the trend line, even if you're long, guys, if you get below this and it starts coming in, this is almost not the big line in the sand, but this will probably take us to lower prices around 216 or so, or at least fill this gap at 219. But I think this is your big area down in here, so keep an eye on this if we start coming in. So long, get above here. Short, you need to get at least below here in this gap fill and then this pivot, and then I think you'll start rolling down in this area as well. So, and everything will be a market trade. If this starts to fall, everything's going down. Weekly charts, you know what, we're going to look at towards the end of the week. So IWM on the daily, we're back below the moving averages, and we're back below the let me open this up a little. Gosh, this thing's a mess. Let me open this one up a little more, or pull this one back a little more. So we closed back below this trend line here, which we were keeping an eye on for a little bit, but then we popped above it. So then I added one up here too, and that one seems to be stopping these that are here. Look at that, got right there, and that's what's stopping this. So we have two trend lines here, and it came right back below. You're back below the moving averages, so it's slightly weak. Let's see if we pop back up. These are markets pretty channeled action here. Is this the low end, or does it go one more dip and then back up? Because that's what it looks like what it's doing to me. Up, down, up, down. So let's see if we go back up into these channels, or is this the breakout part where it starts to go? We'll find out. We'll have more of the puzzle in the next couple days. But for now, we're up 2 pennies after hours. Nothing, nothing great. Just channeling on the IWM. Weekly chart again, we'll look at towards the end of the week. Qs, right back into the upper trend line. We talked about it. See how it hit, barely came into it, then it pulled back, and then boom, right back up again, right into the same area that they stopped it here. Again, though, we did break above the all-time high, and we closed above it as well. But I want to see it close above this line with a little bit more volume than this, and a little more push through. Then I'm thinking 130 area possibly, but we need to break through here with a good breakout and some more momentum on volume. If it does not do that, if you're more bearish, then you're going to fill, looking to fill this gap in here, see if it sets up sideways and then goes down, or if we just, kind of stair step down. We do have some support around the 50 MA and the 20 MA. We can actually pull this guy out now. So let's put a new fib in here. Do it here to the all-time high. Yeah, and then the old all-time high was up here. So let's see if we can stay above it, or does it come back and reverse down? And then, of course, you got your areas of support. And then ultimately, though, I think we're still going down at least to this gap fill around 118, or this little pivot here, and the 200 MA around 115.46 or so. That's my thoughts on this. DIA. DIA, again, try to break out, pulled right back, closed below these all-time highs, made a new all-time high, but closed below. I'd like to see it close above it and then some follow-through on a little more volume than this. Then I might believe in this market. But if this does go up off this bullish pattern, you're probably looking at 205, 206. Who knows? Well, each even number is going to be a little bit of resistance. We'll see if it gaps up and gets going. But I want to see more volume, just like the rest of the markets or the indexes. If it stays complacent like this, I think we're just going to go up and down, up and down, up and down until there's some catalyst or some news or something like that. But watch for volume in these markets. That tells you a lot here. Light volume, this is what we're going to do. So again, IYT, the transports, comes in real nice, a little bit bearish pattern, pops above. We talked about this, slightly bullish now. The bullish pattern plays out, double top, right back down 5 days in a row. Kind of pops up, so you're slightly bullish, but slightly bearish as well. But closing back above the 20 and the 50, you are slightly bullish on the bullish side now. If you are long on this one, you need to get it back above the all-time high, which is 167.79. Then you need to shoot for double top and get through it. And you need more volume than this pathetic volume going on right now. So, and if you're bearish, you want it to close below the MAs again and then fill the gap and then pot. This is your area where it's got to break pretty much right around 160.74. So, and then if that breaks, I still think you go down to 150 or so down in this area, 148, and there's a gap to fill down here around 145.28. So beware of that. Markets like to fill gaps. The USO, guys, USO. The only reason this thing bounced up and it wasn't, see how funny it was, is like oil or stock inventories rise or whatever it was, and blah, blah, blah. And then this should have been doing the opposite, I believe. I mean, I saw a little bit of the news. I don't even know what happened, but it did go up. The only reason it went up, guys, look, double bottom, trend line, 200 moving average. 200 moving average on the daily. It hasn't hit that since the beginning of, or at the end of November. So it's been a couple months since it's hit that. And on the daily chart, it usually has to get back to that area. So I guess you could get a bounce, but if this thing doesn't bounce and go sideways, then you're looking for a bearish pattern for possible lower prices. If you're bullish, you need to get back above the moving averages like we've been talking about every time it pops up. I want to see follow through. I want to see more volume, and then it just rolls back over and comes back to the bottom of this channel. We are channeling on most stocks right now, so be really careful, because if one of these channels breaks to the upside downside, if you're long, woohoo. If you're short, yeah, baby, let it go down. So again, markets are a little bit just chopping around. Be careful in these light volume environments. But again, nothing wrong with the USO. We are above the 200 moving average. And let's see if we wait. Let's wait for pattern here. Do we chop around sideways, or do we pop right back up in the channel and just keep going up and down? Fun stuff, guys. Fun stuff. UUP. UUP down 3 cents, no great shakes. We did go up into the 220 MA, bounced it back, as well as the 618 Fibonacci, and right back in. Now we're going to wait for pattern. Does it chop around below the 20 MA, or does it pop it back above the fib and this high, maybe around the $26 area, 26.07, and then will it go back to the 50 MA, and then you got some pivots up here, but ultimately, you know, shoot up for double top and then go from there. But right now, another shallow pullback. We are holding these areas here, which was the 25.81. So let's, as long as we stay, you know what, I'm going to stick there. As long as we stay above that area, you know, and don't really, you know, we'll have to wait for pattern. There's really, other than a nice, you know, other than it starting to retrace up, pull back, let's see what it gives us. Tomorrow we could gap up and get going. We need a little more information on a chart before I can start saying, hey, this way, that way. But right now, it's bouncing off the 25.80 area. All right, let's look at the GLD. So this one's been working out pretty good, guys. We were telling everybody 115, 112.50, and then around 108 area to get in. You know, you know, just slowly add. So far, boom, we're right back to 118. Let's see if we set up sideways, or does the 20 MA curl. I mean, we could even pull back here and then possibly shoot up like this. So let's keep an eye on that. But you have a little bit of a doji, but we're getting those candles, so it's really not telling us too much. We had one here and it went straight up, but this was like down and up. So do we get a little bit of reversal, come back to the 20 MA, and then does it pop, or do we just keep, you know, roasting up here? We have to keep an eye on the market, see if anything's going to happen, any catalysts that are coming up or anything like that. But gold right now, guys, moving really good. If you are in here from the 108, 107 area down in here, if you were lucky enough to pick this one off, gosh, pull something off the table. I'm trying to get maybe 4 or 5 more bucks out of this thing, couple at least, then I'll be half out, and then hopefully I could get to the 126, 124 area. You know, I'd love to get the whole thing there, but we'll have to see how it sets up. But right now, a little bit of shallow pullback for 3 days, and then boom, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's getting a little bit long in the tooth here. Let's see if we could have one more shallow pullback like this, and then it takes off one more time, hopefully into this area here. So if you're long in gold with us on a swing trade, then hold tight. Let's see if we get a little bit more. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. Let me see. Yeah, kind of just complacent markets, guys. 51 million on the SPY. Nothing really going on. Trump, they're trying to settle in Trump. The one thing that is catching my attention though is the gold shooting up, and also the action on the oil as well. And I showed you the charts where they're going up, down, sideways, this, that, big, big movements on news that really never really moved before. So keep an eye on that as well. But at this point, guys, their number one goal is to keep these markets above the moving averages on every time frame. We follow the 10, the 60, the daily, weekly, monthly. As long as we're above the moving averages, everything's good. All right, guys, that's it for today. Look for some live sessions possibly tomorrow and Friday. I'm going to have a little bit of time, and I'm looking forward to being with you guys again live, going through stocks, trying to find charts, trying to make money. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. God bless. See you on the charts.